Dusty, you just came back from California, tan there. I don't know why. Tan, man. How's everything going in your preparation?
It was good. I just got back. I've been working with Canelo,
Yeah.
Best in the world. So it was great work. It was a good new experience for me.
New experience. How was it with the language barrier? Was there any?
No, Canelo, he's working on his English pretty good. I can have conversations with him,
Okay, yeah, I'm sure. He paid you well to teach him a little bit of English.
There was always somebody there that spoke.
Obviously, you were brought in there to kind of mimic some things that Amir Khan does. Tell me about the relationship which you had with Canelo, and you think and the time you spent with him, what things you learned, and you think you'd be welcome back there to another camp in the future.
Yeah, I do think I'll be welcome back. When I was leaving, I let him know it was my last day, and Chepo kind of looked a little sad, and I told him, I'll come back whenever you want. He got happy, he screamed, hugged me, and gave me a high five. So I think I will be, coming back if they need somebody like me again. I don't think they'd be opposed to it at all. But Canelo, he's a great guy. He tries to kill you in the ring, and then right afterwards and say, "Have a good weekend." This real nice, soft voice. Real nice guy.
Was he? I guess he was happy about your movement, some things you were able to mimic. On some things, there were some things that specific they asked you to touch on, or was they letting you be you?
They weren't. The only thing that they really asked me to do is that generally I'm a slow starter, but with Canelo, he's got other sparring partners there. I don't have time to warm up or something. They would just tell me they wanted a lot of punches. They wanted him to work. And what I like about him is if Canelo was having a bad day, he wasn't looking good that day. They loved it. They loved if somebody gave him problems. They weren't scared of tough work. They weren't. They weren't worried about Canelo's confidence or certain people have a tough sparring partner, they send them home. That's not what they had. And actually, throughout the camp, the beginning I was trying to mimic Khan and speed, and we figured Khan was going to be boxing. But then, sometimes we fell into it. Me and Canelo were banging. They actually liked that more because they just liked the toughness, and they wanted it to be tougher on Canelo. And I really like that about them. I've been with bigger fighters, and they big names, and they don't like that. They want it to be easy for the fighter. They wanted their fighter to always be the one that looks good, and that's not what they cared about. They if Canelo was dead tired, they still tell me, go kill him, if he had a rough workout, and I think that's the thing that I respected the most about him in his camp. So.
Now, facing Mike Dallas Jr., this is a good quality opponent for you. I think I was one of the first persons to reach out to you and be like, look, this is a real good quality opponent for you. Months ago, we was talking about you saying that, I want to fight some good, decent names. Sometimes it's out of your control. Only has that big loss to Matisse, which I'm sure you're probably studying tape on, maybe in preparation.
I kind of feel bad that that's what he's remembered by, because can you really define somebody's career over
not really by his loss.
Less than 2 minutes or whatever it was? He got caught, and Matisse's caught a lot of people. I don't think you can judge him by getting caught by Matisse. So, and I think the biggest thing is going into this fight, nobody in boxing is saying that, this is Mike Dallas' toughest fight yet.
Yeah.
But for me, everybody's saying it is my toughest fight. So it's a really good test for me.
You're happy about that quality opponent that you got?
Yeah. Because his losses are to people who went on to do big things. What I mean? Who made a name for themselves in boxing. So it's going to put myself in that category.
What are your thoughts about being back on, not that you've been on BET, but going on BET, a network that has done some things in the past that looks like they're slowly getting back onto that. Obviously, you got to be happy for any kind of television recognition, but
it's cool.
BET means something a little bit more.
It's cool. It's interesting. It's new. I'm always open to that. It'll probably bring a new audience to boxing. So, like that.
Okay, cool, man. Any final thoughts about your preparation or leading up to the fight or anything like that?
I'm very happy to be back in DC fighting, and I appreciate everybody from DC who comes out to support me in previous fights, and I hope they can do it again. Thank you.